Welcome to the Rise Inside podcast, hosted by Justin Starbird and powered by Rise Robotics. Listen as host Justin talks to experts from the Rise team about topics relating to mechanical engineering, industrial design, commercialization, and innovation. True collaborations work when ideas are integrated at inception to solve significant problems. Rise Inside brings together how the team continues to work with great folks to commercialize ideas. You're listening to the Rise Inside podcast. Here's your host, Justin Starbird.
Welcome back to the Rise Inside podcast. Today, I am excited. This is Justin Starbird, and we are kicking off season 2 and diving into a little bit of the folks that make up Rise, learning more about the people behind the mission. It's pretty exciting. And today I have newcomer Matthew Hansen, Senior Mechanical Engineer Manager for Rise. Matthew, thanks for joining me today.
Happy to talk. Happy to be here.
Yeah, man. So excited to have you on to kick off season 2 and hear a little bit about your background and what led you to Rise. You know, it's a pretty unique company. To you, what is Rise?
I think to me, Rise is lifting things up. And I say that kind of a little bit jokingly, but a little tongue in cheek there. But really it is, to me, it's innovative tech. It's a really neat space to work and build. And I think it's a place of great opportunity, both for the company and the people here. And so I'm really excited to be part of the team. I'm really excited to come here and hopefully leave my mark on all of it and bring my marks from other areas. So yeah, that's what Rise is to me. Dealing with heavy machinery, lifting things up, and kind of bringing new innovation to the marketplace, to be honest.
Yeah, no, that is exciting. No doubt about that. When I love how you say, lifting things up in the little tongue in cheek, play there. But the truth of the matter is that, Rise is a really special place in that they both lift up the people that, make this happen. And also, are quite literally lifting heavy things in a new and a profound way. What was it, that led you to Rise? What was your background before coming on board?
Yeah, so kind of like a high overview, my journey, my arc is I got my master's kind of just in design, mechanical engineering design. I kind of crafted my own little niche space in it, with heavy technical aspects, quite analytical, but also what does it mean to the end user use case and really like that definition. I spent some time actually doing simulation modeling at Whirlpool Corporation. So modeling the vertical axis, washing machines and how they spin up and making sure they don't vibrate apart. And then I also did dishwashers. And so I did these like kind of large scale consumer appliances, connecting to the customer. And then I came to the Boston area from there and worked at Keurig for about 4 years before coming here and did thermo fluidic controls and logic. Yep. And like creating coffee for people, right? So it's this arc of like having people and doing things for people. And I think I was looking for some place to continue managing people as I got my first taste of management at Keurig, but also kind of wanted to be part of something new, right? Like when I was at Whirlpool, when I was at Keurig, you usually had limited opportunities to make new tech. And when I was there, I did bring new tech with it. But I was really excited to bring something kind of a new way of doing things. And that's really what kind of led me then to Rise of here's this really cool core tech, a chance to build it out, build the team out and grow with a company. That's kind of the arc of my journey. I went from these big, large companies, everything was all structured in that. And now I'm coming to a place where I get to be kind of the person to help shape some of that structure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's interesting you mentioned Keurig. I always am fascinated by how they've, they don't make coffee machines, right? They make an experience for the consumer. And, this is Rise is unique in that respect that it's a product to help machines, really be something they've never been before. And so it also is sort of creating an experience as well. Do you see that correlation, or have you felt that from the coming from the B2C world and now moving into more of a B2B space?
Yeah, I would agree. I think at the end of the day, people are highly complex. And so that's what always intrigued me about the consumer facing clients in terms of the end user being a general consumer, like a pot sitting on your counter or a
Right.
washing machine and the structures there, right? Like those are something people can touch and see. Within this space, you still are impacting it, right? You're still creating this new capability, new experience of how things can and potentially move. And so now, rather than people being your main driver, which they still are, right? How will they handle and move things around? But also the environment you're in, right? What's the variation around that? So there's all these different nuances with it, to kind of build out, to be challenged by, and to be overcome, to be very honest.
Yeah. You mentioned that you got your first taste of really leading people, previously. What is your vision for, helping Rise achieve, our vision, but also doing it in a way where you're empowering your team?
I think for me, it comes down to two crucial things: is being clear what the question we're trying to drive to, right? I once had a manager, and it's always stuck with me. He says, once you've identified the actual problem at hand, you're halfway done. And
Yeah.
I think that's something I think is really important. So really getting in and going through the process of, questioning the question, right? But also making
Yeah.
sure what's the end game, what's the end game goal.
Yeah.
So
Where's the goal line, and like, making sure that doesn't move all the time.
it doesn't move, or when we move it, can we move it, right? Like I got
Yeah.
no problem moving goalposts, especially when they get bigger, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going from like a little small a net to a big huge soccer or a huge goalpost from football, but at the same time I think it's making sure it meets the need, right? So there's always that nuance of what is the true question, right? Like what is making sure we get that use case right. And there's massaging of that. And then the other piece is making sure we have the tools to deliver, right? Whether that be analytical tools, our own analytical skill set, or if that comes back to, our ability to think quickly in certain aspects, right? Kind of balancing that. Okay, what's the right answer? What's the long-term answer? Balancing solution sets we have.
Yep.
There's a good amount of complexity along with that. So kind of my vision is to kind of encourage and build on that, where, we're getting to solutions, we're getting to answers, but we feel confident in them. And then also we build out other solutions, other answers as we're going out and really build out our own technical competency, but our core tech space as well. And I think that's what's exciting to me is like we got the core tech pieces, but being the startup, growing in, learning what other use cases there are, you're constantly building out.
That's so interesting because what you mentioned about the vision, and when there's a goal line that needs to be changed, we've been able to maintain the fabric of who Rise is and keep talent, and also take what we've learned and apply it to solving the next problem. What about the vision, having come from a different space, was so important to you? Was it the element of sustainability? Was it the ability to potentially be, creating a new industry? What was it that really drew you in and said, man, I want to be a part of that?
I think for me, it was really kind of all of it. And the reason I say all of it from the two that you said there, but like the chance to kind of disrupt an industry is very appealing to me.
Hmm.
Usually that, you're not following in, you're trying to create something new within that marketplace, and a new experience. And then the piece of electrification to me, I think, it comes back to where the need is, but really where I think the tech is speaking to me is from its own efficiency, right?
Sure.
You have this ability to leverage belts in a way that you can more optimally use the energy you're putting in. And I think that to me is like when we get to like the core of what it means, that's what it means to me, right? Like we are creating efficiency in that way, or maybe other ways of interfacing with different parts. So I think, staying core to that desire for to be more sustainable, to be more efficient, I think really speaks to the opportunity here. Um, And so I think that's part of what came to me as here's this space that's has its own efficiencies, its own inefficiencies, and here's how we can improve those inefficiencies. And and it's done with new innovative tech because the other tech just can't keep up or meet the promises that it was trying to meet because the paradigm just doesn't work for them. Whereas we have a paradigm that works. And to me, that is really what brought me here.
Yeah. Now, when you go home at night, you need to have something that keeps you going and motivated as well. What are some of the, hobbies or things that you're into that, help fill that creative cup or get your, juices flowing so that when you do come in, you are ready to go and are looking at, some of these world's problems in such a unique way.
So I think for me, I have a couple different things. I am a player of video games of different sorts. I do enjoy board games. I'm one of those people that struggle to turn their mind off.
Yeah.
Um, so like I will, kick back with a book, like anything that can be engaging. I'm someone who just has this desire to engage. So most of the things I do are kind of I'd say a little bit all over the place, but usually involve some sort of engagement. Whether, my wife and I last night were watching a YouTube, and then we spent like 30 minutes discussing the implications and meanings of it. So it's one of those things for me, like, I'm not always looking to just relax. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But I think that's where I come from is like, keeping it fresh, thinking of new problems. That's kind of where I go from there. But every person's unique. I think that's something as a manager, I look forward to working with people on. Like some people, turn my mind off, close the laptop down, go home. Great.
Yeah.
Every person's unique. And I
Yeah.
think supporting that is something that's very important to me. And also living that is something that's important to me too.
So what are the video games? What are the board games that we like so much?
So I'm a big fan of Stone Age.
Okay.
We've also played one called Calico, which is another one, highly recommended. It is very visually stimulating of a game.
Yeah.
It's basically cats placed on knit quilts that you make, and it is much more exciting than it sounds. On the video games front, I do. Oh, come on, now I'm locking up on it. Um, Elder Scrolls, so Skyrim, but also
Yep.
Elder Scrolls Online. So that's been fun to do. Other small like mobile app games at times. Keeping along with that. So those are some of the games from that standpoint.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Always great to get to know, who we're working with. I mean, not everybody is in the office, so it's great to be able to share those things and talk about them on either the stand-ups or as you're when everyone finally does get together. It's pretty exciting. So um
It,
when you think about coming back into work, today's we're doing this on a Monday, which is rare generally. A lot of the interviews happen later in the week. Where do you see some of the biggest opportunities as we end the year and into next year, and what are you looking forward to?
what am I looking forward to? All the projects we have coming. It's something I'm looking forward to and dreading at the same time at times. But that means you're on the right track, right? Like to be busy, to be kind of overloaded is the wrong word. I think we have the right balance right now, but I look at the horizon of where things could go, and I'm like, there, I get excited for the growth potential, right? And how to, as a manager, how do we spin people up? How do we bring that in? How do we create the structure that we can welcome new people very quickly, right? So that's something I've been working on too and thinking through as well. And so, like for next year, it's that opportunity for growth is what I'm looking forward to, and that opportunity to build out new knowledge, build out new capabilities within ourselves, the team, and what we have. So yeah, I think that's where my excitement comes from.
Yep.
Not to mention the technical challenges. I love. I will say this: we were talking about like free time. Like one of the books I was reading is The Elements of the fundamentals of mathematics. It's about different core mathematical theories and things like that. So yeah, I did something on my fun time, and I look forward to bringing some of those sorts of things in as we go forward. So I don't know, just excited for the future in a very general way, but a
Yeah.
specific way around growth.
So with that, what are some of the obstacles that you're seeing or areas for, I must say improvement, because, every obstacle can turn into an opportunity. So, where do you see potential hindrances or things that could limit us from hitting those visions?
I, I'll take it the same way you just said, right? Every obstacle be an opportunity, but conversely, every opportunity can become an obstacle, right? As you're trying to bring some new ideas to the space, as you're trying to grow, you know, it's that unknown, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what drives me, that's what excites me, but it's also the same thing that scares me, right? Like what didn't I know? What did I
Right.
miss? Like what's that thing like that I missed? A good engineer is paranoid. I once heard someone say, and I don't vouch for that, but at the same time too, a little bit of cautiousness, or a little bit of mild, like what could be, or what's the thing that's like everything's going well. What should I be scared of, right? And you measure it, right? You balance it out. But I think for me, those are the biggest challenges we have is that those unknown unknowns, or the unknown knowns, that like what is it?
Right.
So
But you have the known knowns and you have the known unknowns, and then you have the unknown unknowns, right? And then
yeah,
that's and I don't remember where that came from, but I always laugh when that comes up because it couldn't be more accurate.
yeah, yep. So what I don't know scares me. There.
Well, I think the good part about that is that everybody's got a healthy curiosity about them, and that's really led to a lot of incredible, success so far, and huge amounts of opportunity going forward. I think with your leadership and the vision from Aaron and Blake and others. There's a real chance to make a difference, and so this is exciting. It's wonderful to have you on the team. It's wonderful to hear a little bit more about you and introduce you to everybody else. So Matthew, so happy to have you on today.
Thank you, thank you. As anyone will tell you here, I sometimes enjoy talking too much, so you always have to like tell me to stop, and I'll go work on something else. But I have no problem carrying a good conversation. I appreciate it.
Well, yeah, then I'll challenge you with this: the next topic that you come back for, because everybody comes back with a new topic once they've been introduced. So think about that, and early next year we'll have you on again.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Great. Well, on behalf of my guest today, Matthew Hansen, the Senior Mechanical Engineering Manager for RISE, you've been listening to the latest episode of RISE Inside. Thanks for listening. Until next time.
You have been listening to the Rise Inside podcast, presented by Rise Robotics. On behalf of our guest today and host Justin Starbird, thank you for listening. Please share your feedback on our LinkedIn page, linkedin.com/company/rise-robotics.